Welcome back, everybody. This is Steve, and sometimes you do things because you can, not because you should. So what we're going to do today is play around with the old Packard Bell PB88 behind me and see what happens when you don't have enough memory. The machine shipped with 640K of memory. A lot of that was on an expansion card. 512K of it was on an expansion card, quite a lot. So we're going to pull it out, going to leave you with 256K of memory, and we'll see what happens. And then we'll try and add some memory up from there, and maybe it'll get better. Maybe it won't, but the only way to find out is to stick around after the break. Oh, and by the way, there's a whole bunch of buttons down below. Join, like, comment, subscribe, ways to support the channel in the description, and of course the comment section, which I probably mentioned twice now, but that's because I really want you to leave a comment and tell me what kind of other things you want to see happen in videos like this one. See you after the break. All right, folks, what happens when you have less than 640K of memory? From the video last weekend, we did the Packard Bell PB88. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on right now so that it starts booting up while we're talking. And it has 640K of memory in it. What I'm going to do is get this thing booted up so we can see that it's running and give you guys kind of a baseline. And right now you can see it doing a memory test. We're going to let it test up to 640K. And we already did it once is enough. And just show that it works at 640K and show what it can do. This is DOS 401. If you recall, there's no memory management or anything going on here because there isn't any place to do any memory management with. So like if I was to load DOS high, or I was to do any of the like shell high or device high type stuff, it wouldn't matter because there's no high memory in the first place. So right now we are in DOS shell and it is running just fine. Let's go into the file system. And now I'm paranoid about the turbo. I want to press it all the time to make sure it's in high speed mode. Let's go down to my folder, and in my folder, let's just run check it. And we're going to run check it by itself. Let's go and look at configuration, and it shows base memory 640K, available 549. That's all we need to see right now. We already did the diagnostics and the benchmarks and stuff in a previous video, so we know all that's good. Let's press return to go back to the file system. That is fantastic. Let's take a look at what else do we have. Let's see, Planet X3, just for grins. PX3. PX3.com is a whopping 332 bytes, but that's probably because it's trying to figure out which video card we have, and then it will switch into the right one. Choose sound source 1. Got some noise. And there's Planet X3. All right, let's go over to the bench. Well, first off, let's exit out so you can hear me again. Let's go over to the bench and reduce some system memory and show you the memory expansion card that this thing has in it. Hang tight. All right, we are over at the bench, and this is the completely unlabeled, completely nondescript memory card that was in the machine. And what's really interesting is that it is revision 1.3, and they went through at least 3 revisions and never put their name on it all 3 times. There are no configuration settings, no jumpers, switches, no nothing on this. I'm looking for a date code. We've got some Gold Star 74 series logic chips. No date code on them. We've got some Kyocera RAM. This says 805, which might be the 5th week of 1988. This chip here says 8805, which might be the 5th week of 1988. This Intel RAM here doesn't appear to have any date codes on it either. So I'm going to guess 1988 is probably as close as we're going to get to an estimate on when this thing was made by looking at these date codes. This might be, nope, I think that's B747. I was going to say that might be the 47th week of 1987, but it is not. At any rate, we have a serial number of 88080261. Okay, so I mean they put a serial number on it. That's nice. The machine has 256K of memory. These are 256K memory chips, so there's an additional 512 there, and then another row of 256K chips, so this would be 768K of RAM. So the first thing we're going to do is yank out all these Intel chips, because we're leading up to something. What we're going to try is to see how far the machine will boot with the memory that is on board, and what all we can do with it, and then we will try it with just the 512 and see what we can get, and if we don't get through that, then we will put the rest on and see what happens from there. But we got to get down to low memory first, and we're on the bench, so let's do that. Okay, we are back from the excursion on the bench, where we dissected the RAM card, and now we are booting up without the RAM card installed at all. So this is as little memory as this machine can get, and it looks like 256K. Yes, sir. High speed mode. The double beeps mean high speed mode. Fast open worked, code page worked, DOS 401 worked, and program too big to fit in memory. So no DOS shell. DOS shell is too big. Let's get the keyboard over here. DOS shell, program too big to fit in memory. All right, let's go to the TO folder, and let's go to check it, and let's run check it. Program too big to fit in memory. That's not helping much. PX3. PX3 tries. PC speaker. No sound. No screen. Reboot. Back to high speed mode. Program too big to fit in memory still, because we haven't fixed it. /to /tools. Let's run mi. And mi tells me 256K of memory, and we have 169K free. So that's not going to get us very far, but I do see a whole bunch of stuff in memory. Let's go and get rid of that. We've got ANSI sys, we've got fast open, we've got append, we've got graph table, and we have a small portion of DOS shell, even though DOS shell said that it could not run. So let's go back and clear that out. What we're going to do is copy, we're going to rename autoexec bat to auto spelling counts, autoexec.mem. We're going to rename config.sys to config.mem, and then we're going to reboot again. So we were at 166K of memory free with all of that stuff loaded. Let's see what we get when there is nothing loaded at all. Stopping and asking for the date because autoexec.bat doesn't tell it not to, and it's telling me that it is DOS version 401 and there is no prompt. Tool/to, oh, spelled it wrong. to/tools. Let's run mi. Speed her back up again. All right, so we went from 166K of memory to 201K of memory free, and you can see the only thing that's going on is command.com. Okay, so let us try check it. I guess before we try check it, let's try DOS shell. Just to get things in the right sequence like they were the last time. She's trying. Not enough memory to continue. Let's see if it left its mess. And it left the Shelby DOS shell thing. And so let's get rid of that. Give everything else a fair chance of actually working. All right, so we know that DOS shell doesn't work, but still leaves a mess behind. So now we need to check it. Check it's still too big. All right, let's do PX3. PC speaker sound. And PX3 is not happy. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut the machine down, and I'm going to install the RAM card that we have neutered. We pulled out half of the RAM that was on the RAM card, so let's get it loaded up in the machine. All right, RAM card is in the machine. Let's get her booted. All right, machine is booting up. See how much memory we have this time. Shooting for 512. I have a feeling everything's going to work this time. High speed mode. What do we have? We got 512K of memory total, and we have 454K free. So let's do DOS shell. Yeah, that's right. And it works. Going to the file system. High speed mode. Did we already do that? Told you I was paranoid about it. That doesn't look promising at all. I don't know what state we left in, but check it didn't run. And DOS shell is still halfway loaded. All right, let's reboot this thing without DOS shell and see what happens. Making some progress, but not a whole lot of progress. All right. So we know that check it won't run from within DOS shell, but we'll check it run on its own. Yay! And this came out in 88, so it should have been able to run. I would assume that it'd be able to run in 256K of memory. But coming out in 1988, I don't imagine there was a whole lot of machines that had 256K of memory from the factory. Configuration, 512K memory, available 454, we know that. That's good. Let's see what Planet X3 thinks of 512K of memory. We have sound. Okay, well, those are the 3 configurations there. Pretty interesting. Like I said, we can't really do any of the load high or high memory or upper memory block stuff because we don't have any upper memory blocks because we don't have any memory above 640K to play with. So that was a pretty neat little exploration. If there's anything else that you can think of to do with a machine with that little of memory to test out, let me know. And stay tuned for more videos like this one where we explore more DOS stuff and try and do more wacky stuff with old computers. Thanks for being awesome.